You're tuning in to Stellar Cycles, hosted by Alina Souza
and Eva Brown. Join us weekly as we delve into the science, spirituality, and cultural significance of our feminine cycles.
Get ready to align with your natural rhythms, take charge of your patterns, and embrace a holistic approach to feminine wellness. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Stellar Cycles. This is episode 8, the follicular phase. Our main topic is all about giving you more details about the first half of your cycle, the follicular phase. So we covered a little bit about what happens during the follicular phase during our 4 phases episode. And now we take it a little deeper by giving you a focused follicular phase episode to help you better understand what your body is doing right after your period ends, and how to use this phase to get the best results.
Fun stuff. But before we dive in, updates?
Right. Eva, what do you have going on?
Well, I am still in the beginning of my luteal phase, and I am living my best life in this skim stress that
Can I just say how snatched you look? It looks amazing.
You were right when you said that they have really great quality clothes. Yeah. I had to try it for myself.
It's surprising.
And now I ordered all the colors. I'm sold. And then the newest, latest, and greatest, I think, was you and I going to a book club this week.
Yes, that was so much fun. That was my first time, and that was definitely not your first time. You introduced me to this book club.
Yeah, I love the book discussion. You had a lot of great things to say about 8 Rules of Love by Mr. Jay Shetty.
Yeah, I had a lot to say. I didn't even get that far into it, but yeah, a lot of his concepts and the things he talked about in his book regarding love really spoke to me. So yeah, that was a really cool way to meet some new people, some new girls from San Diego, and get to know the people who live here a little more. And it was really a cool vibe. I loved it. Thank you for bringing me to that.
Every month we have one.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you have any other updates you'd like to share with us? We're going to be posting on Pinterest soon. Jasmine's going to be helping us out with that.
Yeah, and getting the YouTube
Reels
running.
TikToks.
Yeah,
it's kind of nice to see everything progressively stack on top of each other.
Yeah, it's really crazy because today is like the 1 month mark of when I announced that I was going to be doing this podcast on my Instagram story. And here we are already. We got the sign up. We got our videos set up for the time being. And it's kind of crazy to see how much progress was made in the first month. So now we're going to be learning and expanding in other ways, planning our launch party. That's going to be here.
I can't wait.
You're going to get to see our studio like in person if you're wanting to come to that, if you're in San Diego. And
our studio, I love that. One day we will have a real studio, as we've been talking about and manifesting for ourselves. One day we'll share with them all of our manifestations too. We'll save it for another podcast, but we have really great dreams to let other ladies be involved with.
It's going to be great, you guys. All right, Eva, you want to launch us into the follicular episode?
Yes. So the little sacs that contain your eggs and the ovaries, those cute little buds. I like to describe this phase as springtime. And when I think of that, I'm thinking of when you have flowers that are barely starting to bud. They're not blooming yet. This is that stage where your eggs are now growing inside of your body. I always love it.
They're getting ready for ovulation.
Yes. So the themes during this time are enthusiasm, confidence, renewed energy. And this phase takes on the spring energy, as I was saying, where you're going to feel a sense of renewal and inspiration. Generally feeling a lot lighter physically and emotionally. And people are drawn to this energy that you have just naturally. You're going to radiate a sense of magnetism and attract things a little bit easier in your life.
Yeah, and going into the hormonal side of the follicular phase, the follicular stimulating hormone, we'll call it FSH for the rest of this episode. FSH gets sent out from your brain to your ovaries, this signal that tells your eggs to start growing and getting ready. And this happens actually at the beginning of your period. Remember how we were talking about how like your menstrual phase actually like overlaps your follicular phase a little bit? And that's because when you're bleeding, your ovaries are already getting ready with follicular stimulating hormones. So it's kind of like a follicular phase still.
It starts day 1, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's that drop in progesterone and estrogen that signals this need for FSH to go out. And the reason that these phases work in such a way is because while you're on your period, it tells your body that you're not pregnant, which signals the need to make new eggs again, create this new cycle. So it never stops. It's always like playing with each other. Remembering that FSH is like the food for your eggs. It's the hormone that gets them plump and ready. It grows. It's like the fertilizer. Maybe that's a bad way of putting it because the fertilizer is actually the sperm. But
well, fertilizer for your own body.
Yeah,
I think it works.
Like your own natural made fertilizer that helps, get those seeds and buds ready. Your follicles are starting to swell at this point. That's the little sacs on your ovaries that are containing the eggs that are getting ready during this phase. And since estrogen is created by your ovaries, your estrogen is also starting to rise in the start of your follicular phase because as the eggs are maturing and growing, so do your ovaries pump out estrogen at the same time.
Cool.
So this estrogen, it's working to build your uterine lining, and it also works to give you a boost of energy as well. With the estrogen steadily rising, it also affects your mood, your energy, and concentration because estrogen increases the feel-good chemicals such as serotonin and dopamine during this time, which is why you're having these feelings of like increased confidence, increased renewed energy, thanks to the rising estrogen. You're feeling cleansed, light, and energetic.
I love all those things. It really, truly is my favorite phase. Mm-hmm. I wish I could have it all the time, maybe.
It's like resurrection.
Yeah. I'm like about those high vibes. During this time, your body and your feelings, they're going to show up for you in a more energetic way, as we've been saying, where you have high increases and you may feel like even a little bit restless. Would you say anxious at all?
Yeah, I feel like if you're interpreting the restlessness as negative, then you could call it anxiety. But I think it's just like your body now has this like renewed source of energy that it wants to put towards something.
Yes.
So I think a lot of anxiety stems from, if we're not talking about like past traumatic experiences, a lot of like current anxiety can be from like you just not getting busy with something. I find that when I have anxiety, if I just like start cleaning the house or doing something that takes my mind off of it, then it's like, oh, okay, I fixed that problem.
Yeah, it cures all things. I feel like when you take action towards something.
Manual labor is like kind of amazing.
It makes you really be mindful.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy arts and crafts because I'm using my hands, paper mache. Strangely enough, I loved doing that one year.
Yeah. And think about it too. In the springtime, it takes way more work than reward to get plants going and get a garden growing, plant everything, make sure it's getting the right nutrients. So it's even during the spring phase in life, it kind of takes more energy and work too. Mm-hmm. And the sun is out. We're actually coming up on daylight savings time. So the sun will be out for a longer period of time. So we'll need slightly less sleep. We're able to do more with more sunlight.
Yes. Your discharge will be a little bit white and yellow during this time. Your bloating and swelling will start to dissipate. You're looking and feeling slimmer and lighter, and you're going to have a more optimistic view of life and situations as a whole.
Such a great phase, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about the chakras.
Right. So where in the menstrual phase, the chakras were more focused on the root chakra and the crown chakra. So your connection to the world, as well as your connection to God and spirit. Now, heading into the follicular stage, we move more upwards from the base and we go up into the sacral chakra and the solar plexus chakras. The sacral chakra is located kind of where your reproductive organs are, and solar plexus is kind of your tummy, where your digestion happens, and also all your intestines and abs. Your sacral chakra, which is represented by the orange color, represents things like sexuality, work, physical desire. This is where your self-confidence and self-respect flows from. And it also enhances passion, creativity, and joy. So this is kind of where your life force energy is, the she, right? Mm-hmm. And the solar plexus right above that, represented by the yellow color, it deals more with ego, personality, identity, self-esteem. So think really like spring and rebirth vibes, So during this time, during the follicular phase of our cycle, we're really drawn to brighter colors like yellow, orange, colors that signify joy.
Completely.
Yeah, optimism and just things that really represent the sun, right? Because the sun is really coming back into play during springtime.
That is when I wear my most brightest dresses. As you know, I love color.
And then where is the energy as far as yin and yang is concerned now?
So when you are working with your energy like yin and yang, right? So it's naturally in all of us. We all have our feminine and masculine energies. When you are in your follicular phase, you're moving out of yin and into yang energy. And before in the previous episode, we talked about what those characteristics of both were. And your yang characteristics are going to be things that are where you're more active, forward moving. The yang represents sun, light, action, loud, bright, protective, providing, gifting energy. This means you're going to have like a lot more, like we said, restlessness or energy. You could feel those emotions inside of your body. And it's important to take what you learned when you're going through the yin energy in your menstrual phase and incorporate those reflections and new desires that you reflected on, you incorporate that into your yang energy in the follicular phase.
Because now is the time to like go external. You were more internal and yang. Now it's time to head out into the external phase where you're not quite at the top of the yang energy, but you're heading from yin to yang and you're kind of starting to go more external, like kind of come out of the ground.
Yes. Use this momentum and really take the time to go and socialize with different people to see how you can arrive at your previously set goals and intentions. This is definitely the time for that. And a really good visual for us to think about here is a seed sprouting from the ground. Imagine during your menstrual phase, your yin energy nourished the seed that was in darkness underground. And now the follicular phase is waking it up and it's putting that energy into sprouting it above ground into the light. It's not a full-grown flower or plant yet, but the follicular phase is preparing it to become that.
So touching on your concentration and creativity levels during this time, you now have the discipline and the motivation to get things done. So take advantage of your clear-headed state to start a new project, do something you normally wouldn't have the courage to do but really want to accomplish. Do more of everything. Exercise, socialize, projects. Nothing can really fail at this time. This is a really great time to just put your hand in all the pots and like try to implement all the things that you've really been wanting to give a go.
Have a lot of fun and stretch yourself.
Exactly. Very expansive. What about plans? What kind of plans are you making during your follicular phase?
During this time, you have the energy to really do it all. You can be creative and really pursue those stimulating projects. It's a great time for brainstorming and putting everything in your mind, all that restless energy, putting it on paper, and save most challenging assignments for this week. This week, it's easier for your brain to problem solve. Physical energy is at its highest points here, so you want to do anything that's outgoing, upbeat, really revitalize. Say yes to all plans and open up to new experiences and new things.
Right. Because the things that you're going to try that are new at this time have a much better chance of sticking around throughout your cycle. And during this time in the follicular phase, you're wearing springy, colorful clothes. Since there's no more bloating going on like there was on your period, you're wearing tighter, more flattering outfits. Your makeup is fresh and light, kind of think springy, girl-like, maiden vibes, you know, go in with the blush,
Cute.
The glow, the
I'm
lip
seeing
gloss,
braids, bows.
the fluffy brows, so cute. Braids for sure. Playing with pastel colors, very spring-like as well. Expressing something new with your style. So if you've been wanting to incorporate a new trend that you've been seeing, but maybe you haven't had the confidence to do that during your menstrual phase or even luteal phase, implement it the week after your period and it might click. Honestly, you might like it. And wearing clothes that allow movement and flexibility because you're going to be on the go. You're going to be doing a lot of things, trying to get as much done during your day. So really wearing clothes that not only look cute, but also allow for quite a bit of movement comfortably.
Definitely my jam.
Yeah.
And for diet, the types of things you guys want to eat during this time, again, we're thinking spring. So fresh, vibrant, lively foods that give you energy while your hormones are still relatively low. Things like pressed salads, lean protein, sprouted beans and seeds, energy sustaining grains is what you're going for here. And one of my favorites is citrus. I love to eat a ton of oranges, kiwis.
This can be your breakfast.
Grapefruit. Yeah, grapefruit's my favorite thing for breakfast. Although Tony Robbins says to stay away from citrus. Everyone's different. Everyone's body is different. But he says to stay away from citrus in the morning. You should eat just berries. But personally, it's worked great for my body.
Yeah,
I don't know. I've tested these things on myself, and I love eating a grapefruit in the morning. My body and my skin actually do the best.
While citruses are acidic, like in nature, when they get inside your body, they actually become alkaline. So it's a really good way to like detox in the morning. I mean, some of you guys might do lemon water, lime water in the morning. So that's a really great way to flush out your system. So I can't imagine why, eating citrus, unless I can only imagine that eating it would be bad if you're mixing it with fruits that it shouldn't be mixed with.
So you can have a lot of carbs like wheat, rye, barley, because your body is much better at metabolizing during this time.
So if you want to go in on the carbs, if you're a carb lover, this is kind of the best time where it won't overwhelm your body, because your body like needs all that energy for all of the restlessness and all of the doing things that you want to do.
Sweet potatoes, would you eat that? Of course during this phase, but what's the other phase?
I mean, I'd eat it, but that's more for like luteal, yeah.
They're a constant for me.
We get more and more familiar with this list with every cycle. You don't get it right on your first time.
You know me, I'm like not about being perfect, and I give myself grace with everything. So I'm just happy that I'm making sure to get in these nutrient-dense foods, and even if it's on the wrong week, doesn't really matter ultimately. Just eat it right for yourself.
From my perspective, it's like I used to be so overwhelmed with what to eat, because I'm like, do I pick a thing for the month? Do I pick a thing for the quarter? Like, what am I doing? But like the week to week change has been so cool for me, especially if you're like going out to eat and you're like, oh, this is my week to eat salmon. So then you're like kind of your options are narrowed down.
Yeah, I do love that. Just going to restaurants, I think it's just nice to try new food and follow in line with where I'm at. In the menstrual phase, it was a lot of stews, warm broths,
slow cooked type of things.
Yeah, maybe things that feel a little bit heavier in the stomach, nutrient dense. And when you're in your follicular phase, you want to eat things that feel lighter. So your vegetables, you're thinking sauteing or steaming them as opposed to stew, heavy oils or
roasts.
And fried foods we try to stay away from anyways. Foods in your follicular phase prepare you for the next phase. So avocados are great for this transition. They also help in making your cervical mucus, which we all enjoy.
Yeah, they definitely make things a little slimier down there. That was a horrible word. They just more naturally lubricated.
I
we
think
love
slimy,
avocados.
moist, these are fine words. We need to leave words alone. But going to alcohol here, like always, did you have a funny comment?
No.
Okay. It looked like you were going in for one. So like always, alcohol is just kind of a no-no. And during this phase, you probably have a lack of interest since cravings are low. Your focus is elsewhere anyway.
Yeah, it's going to slow you down, from doing all the things that you want to do during this phase.
Moving into your physical activity and sports, movement, what are we doing?
So again, going back into spring, renewed energy. This is the time to try new exercises or workout routines. Switch it up, girls. Like try working out different muscle groups, try a different YouTube
Dance
workout,
class.
Take a new class, work out with some new people. It's an easy time to put the brain and body in like a new and stimulating place. It's easier too to form the neural connections in your brain.
I was just going to ask you that.
Right. Yeah, so that your body can remember and then do it better in the following weeks.
Definitely take advantage of these moments. It's just such a hack in your life to be able to get more for doing the same thing that you
at the correct time.
Yes. You need all those elements to come together.
Exactly. And so new activities done during the follicular phase are much more likely to stick. You're also fastest at this time, which is why activities like cardio, biking, hiking, running is really great during this time.
This makes me think of the moments, I know everyone can relate, when you're running and you do so good one day and then like 3 days later you can't hit that same goal and you think it's like
your
you're going
explanation.
backwards.
Eva cracked the code.
Girly coaster.
That's right. So take advantage of the follicular phase if you're trying to beat your time or
Nice.
you're really trying to, do something that requires a little bit more push from your body, because this is a really good way to get rid of that restless energy. If you're feeling anxiety during this phase, that energy needs to go somewhere. Put that into a hike, put it into a run. Maybe you don't normally run, but you could run pretty easily during this phase. Also, your body is really good at repairing muscle tissue during this phase. So take advantage of that to up the workouts, up the exercises, because heavier weights, starting to increase those weights. And then when you move into ovulatory phase, that's kind of when you want to be pushing your limits the most. But yes, increasing the weights, kind of putting that strain back on yourself. But watch out for overdoing it. Injuries are a lot more common during this time due to the increased feelings of independence and confidence. So
more testosterone in our body at this time?
Not yet, no, but it's just you're feeling really good. The dopamine, the serotonin is surging. So you think that your abilities are a little higher than they might be.
Yeah, you're feeling yourself.
Yeah, so watch out for overdoing it. Like, push yourself, but know your limits. It's really important to not injure yourself, because this can put you back for months.
Listening to your body is always key. And on that note, let's talk about your skin.
What's your skin doing during the follicular phase?
Well, during this phase, you have rising estrogen levels. So that's going to keep your sebum secretions low and stimulate collagen production.
Nice.
Yes, holy grail.
Nice.
Less prone to breakouts, good skin at this time. And it's really a great moment to implement new skincare products.
That's awesome that even during this time, your skin is more receptive to trying new things.
Have you tried new routines for your skincare during this time?
No, I haven't really gotten to the skincare portion of it, but I feel like I break out at weird times. But I don't know. The skin thing is such a journey.
I mean, we're always tracking these. I love in these applications that we have, we can track like any symptom. So now I've been tracking if I have a blemish on this day, or if I had a mood swing or was really emotional.
Okay.
I can't wait to look back on this after 3 months of data. I'm excited. Okay. And then the last thing is since you have this reduction sebum, you're still going to notice dryness rolling over from the menstrual phase. So just definitely make sure to moisturize and take advantage of the
receptiveness of your skin to new things.
Yes. Do you want to lead us into relationships and sex?
Yeah. So in the menstrual phase, it was more of that deep, kind of intimate, connected time, whether or not you were sexually active during that time. But coming into the follicular spring stage of your cycle, your partner may actually find you a little bit intimidating due to your increasing self-confidence. So that's something to watch.
Too hard at this time.
You're feeling yourself.
Where's my love?
Exactly. And then also with the increasing hormones that are going through your body, you're also a little bit quicker thinking, a little wittier. So you might have a bit of a sharper tongue. That's something to watch out for. Don't say things that you don't mean, because it could land like not as great. You also, if you're in a relationship, you might during this follicular stage feel like renewed excitement for your relationship. So you might be a little bit more into your partner again.
I've totally noticed that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Same. And like you have a little more energy. You like want to play with them. Whereas in the luteal phase, it's like if they poke at you, it's like...
Definitely I've noticed that.
You know what I mean?
I need to breathe, like a sharp, that heated feeling runs through my body. I'm like, breathe.
Or you just want to be like very like caressed, like you don't want to be like poked around at. Whereas like follicular phase, I feel like you're a lot more playful, a little more open. Yeah, exactly. So energy in this phase, you guys, it's light, it's fun, and it's flirty rather than like outright seductive.
This sounds like a great time to do something different with your partner, and you want to explore with him, maybe try a new board game or an activity, go play tennis, do a new activity with your partner, because also that
keeps relationships going.
Yes, it combines your neurons too. They set off and it releases the chemicals that make you fall in love, serotonin, dopamine with your human.
Yeah, so follicular phase, Eva, great add-in. Definitely schedule something new to try with your partner. And I would recommend picking something that you're both new at, because if you're picking something that like, if your man is taking you golfing and like you just can't, you know what I mean? If you're not very good at it and he's enjoying it more, or vice versa, if you're better at something than him, you kind of need to start off on the same level, because that's going to bond you so much, learning something new together and seeing each other in a new sort of environment. Because, things do get pretty mundane and you get into the flow of life and you see your partner like coming home from work the same way every day. So seeing them in a new environment, doing something new can be really hot.
Also, shout out to Jay Shetty. This was in his book.
Yeah, he definitely talks about that.
So, do you want to move into sleep?
Yeah, so how is the sleep differing from going in your menstrual phase when you're your sleep is a little more affected to now in the follicular phase?
It definitely improves. You're on the up and up. You're going to be getting a 90% on that Aura ring when you're in this follicular phase. And the reason why is because you're using high amounts of energy during the day and your body is able to really rest and restore now.
You're tiring yourself out.
Yes. So take the proper time to really rest, especially if you've been ramping up your energy during the day and the projects that you're taking on, the people that you're socializing with. Make sure you're also scheduling in. Everyone's different, but 6 to 8, honestly 7 to 9 is more realistic, but get some good sleep in the proper sleeping conditions. What's 65 degrees,
right?
No light on, and then maybe some nice affirmations or healing frequencies in the background.
Yeah, because again, the better the sleep foundation, the better you can tackle that the next day in your follicular phase and just keep that momentum moving. That's I think the key in the follicular phase.
Rest and recover.
Exactly. So to conclude this episode about the follicular phase of your cycle, which comes right after you're done bleeding, is that we may find some challenges with giving others emotional support. So if other people need us to be present for their emotional needs, we can have a harder time with that because we're so focused on what we want to accomplish and what we want to do. So that's something to be mindful of, is being mindful of how you're emotionally supporting the others who might need it in your life. You might also have a harder time with abstract concepts or ideas. You might have a harder time with just going with the flow because you're so like, boom, boom, boom. I want to get things done. I have all this renewed energy. I came out of my menstrual phase with all of these renewed ideas that I want to get done. You also will have a harder time working at someone else's pace because you have your own pace pumping. You might have a hard time with any sort of lack of activity or mental stimulus, and also being in your head. So like we talked about, the anxiety and the restlessness. So to get out of your head, just get busy, work on something you love and something that you're good at. And another thing that you might have challenges with is like a casual blasé attitude. Again, like your partner might find you a little cold, or you might just, again, have a really hard time like caring about things that don't matter to you. And again, slowing down, not overdoing it in this phase.
Nice. So some benefits that we get during this phase is going to be acting on and actualizing ideas seated in menstrual, reflective, the winter phase, starting new projects, independence and self-reliance, excellent mental abilities, starting a new hobby, getting into your body by exercising and trying new things. That's you putting together the mind-body connection, planning and prioritizing your month, your year, even your day and your week, structured learning, logical thinking, decisiveness, and confidence and optimism. So of course, you can tell all of these things coming together are going to highlight parts of your life where you're socializing more, you're meeting with people, it's coming together, coming of the minds, masterminds with people, and just very mindful thought and deeper connection and openness to receiving life and the springtime.
We just want to encourage our listeners, you girls, to begin implementing follicular phase themes in your own lives so that you can use the energy and the confidence of this phase to your own advantage. So first, define the date you expect to stop your next or current period. So that will be the start of your follicular phase. So once you have that defined on your calendar, but if you don't get a period, you will pick a time of the month that the first quarter of the moon falls on. So that's a week after the new moon. So going back, if you don't get a period and you want to go along with this system, your menstrual phase will be during the new moon phase of the month. Then a week after that, the first quarter of the moon, you can use that as your follicular phase.
And that's such a great way to track it. I love that you thought to incorporate that in because, of course, some of us are still on the pill or other medicines. So pick something new to implement into your life, something that you've been wanting to try or a habit you've wanted to create for yourself, like a new skincare routine or hobby, an exercise regimen, even a new location. Like if you want to go walk somewhere new or go biking somewhere new.
Do errands in a new neighborhood.
Cute. Especially if you're like wanting to manifest or house hunt or something like that. Go to places that you want to experience and be around more often.
Literally physically insert yourself into the places where you want to see yourself in the future.
Always.
Biggest hack I can give you in this episode.
Seriously, in everything in life. Make plans with a new friend. Buy an outfit in a different style that you haven't tried before. Create a new vision board for yourself. Make a new recipe. Take that new class. Just really, this is the time to learn, create. Learning is optimized at this time because of your hormones, because of the neurons connecting. You're able to get more out of it. And really, you just want to pick one thing that resonates with you from that list, schedule on your calendar during your follicular phase. And when you guys do this, can you guys take a cute story and tag us? I would love to see people's where they're at in their different phases and what they're doing after utilizing this information.
Totally. And also for yourself too, document your experience, whether you like to write physically in a journal or you like to enter it on your notes in your device. How did it feel to try that new activity? How did it feel to do that new workout, go out with that new friend, buy that new outfit and wear it out? How did these things feel? And this is kind of part of the tracking system that we want to get you guys on so that you can really start see the patterns that emerge when you tune into your cycle.
Exactly. We have a whole system and a journal that we're creating for you guys. It's going to make it so much easier for you to know where you're at and how to get the most out of 2023. We're going to close out strong this year. All of us, all of our listeners.
You guys are going to be even further than what you expected to be at when 2024 starts.
It's going to set you guys up. Your womb is going to be set up for your future family, if that's what you want to create, your future business. That's a whole baby in itself. I'm excited for all of us.
That being said, we'll see you on the next episode. Next, we're going to cover the ovulatory phase and the luteal phase. As always,
blast off.
Talk to you guys soon.
Bye.
This show is intended for inspiration and entertainment and is not meant to replace your physician's medical advice.
Music by Moon Blue.
Editing by Alina Salza.